I'm particularly excited to be here with Kate because we met through zines. Kate submitted to this zine, actually. So I'm the co-editor of International Girl Gang Underground. It's a compilation zine that is 82 pages long. It's about Riot Grrrl, and for anyone that doesn't know about Riot Grrrl, it was a punk feminist movement in the 90s. But I have been interested in seeing what Riot Grrrl enthusiasts from the 90s have gone on to do now, how it affected the work that they do, and what is being done that looks like Riot Grrrl now that is not technically connected to the movement or is influenced by it, and what do we call it now? If punk rock can be whatever punk rock wants to be, then why can't Riot Grrrl kind of change and move on? So I'm going to read the introduction to the zine, and then I would like to explore a little bit about how zines can influence the world in terms of doing events around zines like this one, or kind of getting people together in the name of zines, and how like we build our communities around zines. Okay. In January 2010, Stacy Conkiel, aka Sissy Soul Pony, wrote an article called "Why 2010 Will Be the Year of the Riot Grrrl Revival If We Want It to Be." Sissy's call for girl bands to network and conglomerate into a new Riot Grrrl-inspired movement sparked something in me. Sissy's point wasn't that we needed to start something, it was that there was already something happening. I had written Girl Germs, a Brooklyn scene report, which was an article for Maximum Rock and Roll's Queer issue, the previous October, documenting what was going on here in New York, which was and is lots of queer and/or feminist cultural production, i.e. music, events, zines, small businesses, you name it. My motivation to write the scene report was that I felt this great need for documentation. Tons of girl and/or queer bands were forming and breaking up, starting new projects and ending old ones. I didn't want all of this hard work, this buzz of DIY feminist community, to get lost as the years went on. As a participant in this community, I knew in my whole heart, mind, body that it was influenced by Riot Grrrl, that many of us had started our own collectives after finding ourselves in our own language through the lyrics of Bikini Kill, Bratmobile, and other girls or queers around us growing up. So I emailed Sissy in a frenzy, agreeing that yes, we exist. So what are we, and why does Riot Grrrl remain ghettoized in the 1990s, while punk gets to live on and change? Why is there no framework for discussing what DIY feminisms look like today? Let's do something about it. Let's find out what's going on locally, nationally, and even internationally that, just like our communities, carries the spirit of Riot Grrrl into present day. And so, the International Girl Gang Underground zine. Sissy became my friend Stacy, whom I still have never met, and now this zine is in your hands. Not yet, but I have some. Simultaneously, the internet had become a buzz with Riot Grrrl nostalgia. Kathleen Hanna donated her filing cabinet to NYU's new Riot Grrrl collection at the Fales Library, which you may or may not know, Kate Angel made possible. And Sarah Lawrence announced its 12th annual Women's History Conference, The Messages in the Music, Hip-Hop Feminism, Riot Grrrl, Latina Music, and more. I happened to enter the graduate program in Women's History at Sarah Lawrence College in September of 2009 as well. The program reminded and continues to remind me about where activism and history, academia, and practice meet. Black feminism, post-colonial feminism, and queer theory really affected my thoughts about the way that we write history, which this zine would inevitably do. I didn't want to tell the Riot Grrrl story that gets repeated more often than not, recounting only the tales of the original Riot Grrrls, and might I add, I also anxiously await hearing those stories in their own words. Riot Grrrl's written history has often, unfortunately, taken on a prevalent theme that occurs in other feminist histories, one of writing women of color out. After seeing punk, sometimes expatriate and scholar Mimi Nguyen speak at Sarah Lawrence, my commitment to finding out what a transnational, multi-ethnic, and sexually diverse punk feminist movement might look like now was solidified. I wanted to talk about what was or is going on currently, which was and is a nebulous body of bands, projects, and critical work by a genuinely diverse group of people. Treating the term riot girl as I often would feminism, which for me kind of just means talking about an activist movement that's looking to break down hierarchy and recognizes gender as a part of that. I committed to encouraging critiques of the movement and allowing for difficult dialogues to occur within the zine's pages or potentially on our accompanying website. In many ways, Stacy was right. 2010 was the year of the Riot Girl revival. Everything around me screamed Riot Girl. A panel at Sarah Lawrence on the subject, Sarah Marcus's Girls to the Front book, lauded as the first complete Riot Girl history. There were even great historical moments I saw with my own eyes. Screenings of the forthcoming Latigra film, Kathleen Hanna joining the Raincoats on stage at the Museum of Modern Art to perform a Slits cover in honor of the recently passed Ari Up, and of course the world premiere of the Julie Ruin at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn. While the Riot Girl of the 1990s got validation through tribute shows, recognition in libraries and books, and a general interest in and nostalgia for American 90s culture, the world of DIY punk feminism continued making and doing. Often the present and the past blended together in events like the second annual Anti-Valentine's Day Riot Girl show, coverman show. That was such a mouthful. We actually just had the fourth at Death by Audio in Brooklyn. Or Rah Rah Replica, a Kathleen Hanna covers show with tributes to the originals by women and queers in punk and health. As this world of DIY punk feminism continued making and doing, we captured some of it here in these pages. We could never have imagined how the zine would turn out. The range of stories and ideas, places and ages, opinions and actions are overwhelming, and this is just the beginning. The zine is a finite object, but punk and feminism operate in continuums, constantly changing, moving, and evolving. In order to better achieve our goal of documentation, we have established a website at girlgangunderground.org where we established a directory where people can submit their feminist projects, whether they be film, events like this, zines, calls for submissions, and stuff like that. We have also established Girl Gang Gig Volume, a nebulous group of show bookers to continue creating feminist music spaces all over the country, as well as to promote networking among folks who are interested in creating these spaces. We hope this zine is as exciting to you as it is to us, and that you continue to do and make the cool things that keep us going. So that's the introduction, and a big theme for me since making the zine is the kind of like the last note that I ended on, which is that I hope that people keep doing the things that's keeping us going. I mean, the zine, I co-edited this, so I collected the stories with a friend, Stacy, but it couldn't exist without all the stories within it. So a lot of my emphasis and a lot of the things that I've learned since putting together events around the zine is that all of this comes back to a community. And it's never about just one person, it's really about the magic that happens when you get everyone together.